Welcome to Northwest 19th Street and Northwest 5th Court in Miami, Florida. This is the area in which my family used to live, where my family pretty much got its start. This light gray complex that we're looking at is the area in which our family home was. This grayish complex was not here in the 1930s and 1960s. But when the home was there, it was very convenient for my family to walk to church, as it was right around the corner. So this route that I'm taking now, you're going to see how close the church used to be. Just imagine, everyone knew each other. It was a thriving neighborhood. Everyone knew each other. There are houses, I'm quite sure, all around. And now we're approaching this site where our church, St. Paul AME, used to be, with the basement on Northwest 19th Street and 4th Court. This is just 13 of the 52 ushers who were off duty on Monday night, June 1st, but made good use of their time off by dining together in the basement of their St. Paul AME Church at Northwest 19th Street and 4th Court. At this time, the Ushers Board Number 1, with Mr. Jesse Andrews, President, with his most courteous ushers, has the found pleasure in serving the ushers of the Board Number 2, with Mr. Leander Jackson as President, Reverend R.J. Blaine, Pastor. Standing in the top row left to right, Mr. Jesse Andrews Jr., Mr. Jesse Andrews Sr., Mr. Sam Stafford, Miss Lucille Baker, Mr. Leander Jackson, Miss Alice Jackson, Miss Rosa Barney, Miss Clara Hilton, who arranged this photo. Bottom row sitting, Miss Elena Walker, Miss Ayana J. Cook, Miss Lillian Martin, Miss Willie Daniels, Miss Leola Lawson. Photo by Johnson. This clipping is likely from the Miami Times, which is the Black-owned newspaper of Miami. The year in which this was published is unknown. In this lovely photo, one of the usher boards at St. Paul poses on the side of the church when it was located on Northwest 19th Street and 4th Court. I believe the man in the middle was the pastor at that time. I'll get back to you on that. I have pointed out Mrs. Maydale Brannon. Now, again, in the other video that I did about Virginia Key Beach, we learned that Miss Maydale Brannon was one of the protesters who put her feet in the water, which ultimately led to blacks finally getting a beach to enjoy in Miami. Here are some cute shots of Overtown. Notice the structure. This is a very common structure that I've seen in pictures from both sides of my family in Overtown. Now, I was at the History Miami Museum some months ago, and I noticed this photo of a row of homes. And I recall a photo that I have of my great-grandmother on my dad's side, which prompted me to text my dad and ask him, was that photo taken in Good Bread Alley? So here we have the text message. Good morning, I'm at the museum, and I noticed that there is a similarity in the photo in the museum and this photo with great-grandma Leola. I think she probably lived in Good Bread Alley in Overtown. My dad, long story short, said that's her. She lived in Good Bread Alley on 14th Street between 7th and 3rd Avenue Northwest. Awesome. Good Bread Alley was known to have a smell of freshly baked bread all the time, hence its name. The residents in this area were known for making their own bread and, while on their porch, selling it to passerbys. On Northwest 6th Avenue and 12th Street, we have Booker T. Washington Senior High School. And, of course, this is the first high school in which blacks in South Florida could actually go up to the 12th grade and graduate with a diploma. The black community was efficient in coming together to make this high school happen. This photo is courtesy of the Buwashi, which is the yearbook for Booker T. Washington Senior High School, the 1930 edition at that. I put this photo into the video because it gives an essence of a school day at Booker T. Washington Senior High School in 1930. Here you see the football team posing for a photo, and in the background, students either chatting, in the hallway or looking on as the photo was being taken. Now it's time for some entertainment. Residents of Overtown enjoyed shows and movies at the Lyric Theater, located on 8th Street and Northwest 2nd Avenue. My grandmother would always remind us of how this is the only place where blacks could actually go to the movies in Miami back in the day. And she would also reminisce on the fun times she would have at the Lyric Theater with family and friends and whatnot. Despite the circumstances due to laws that supported racism and segregation, the vibe and spirit of Overtown was one of resilience. It was a progressive-minded place where black businesses thrived, community and family flourished, and everyone knew each other. It was definitely the Harlem Renaissance of South Florida.